Three, two, one. We're good.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning into the stream. It is just me today. David P. is off on a secret mission in New York City, and I'm legally not allowed to tell you what he's doing today. So feel free to throw your guesses in the chat and throw in your questions too. I'm going to try to touch on all of them today, talking a lot about the iPhone 15 Pro, and we can just chit-chat with the chat. And I see OBZ RVNT, I'm not sure how to, observant, clever. Good morning. Rusty, did I find out what happened yet? I can actually highlight the chat now, can't I, Zach? Zach's on the other line too. You can't see him, but you can hear him.
Yes, you sure can.
Okay. Did you find out what happened yet, Rusty? No, I don't know what you're talking about. Just me, doesn't remember joining this channel, joining this group. What's it about? Well, we're talking about iPhone stuff. Well, we're glad to have you anyway, just me. What's it about? We usually talk about iPhones and Androids, and these live streams are a bit more casual. We try to have news stories, read the headlines. Today, I figured we could talk about the iPhone 15 in a little bit more depth today. George P., I see your beard is denser. You are using minoxidil for sure. I'm not. I shaved recently. I wouldn't even know where to get minoxidil.
Yeah, it's good.
ZT official. Hello, David. Hello, ZYT official, frequent Discord user. There's a Discord link in the section below the subscribe button. It's good. We're 1 minute in. I'm already tripping over my words here.
That's good.
Yeah. Rusty, you got cut off the other time. Yeah, we had a cable issue. That's been resolved. We can talk about that later too, TikTok. I guess. Yeah, TikTok isn't actually censoring us. I actually did post an Instagram post the other day on my personal Instagram, and it got banned in Belarus, in Russia.
Wait, what?
I don't know why. So, yeah, I made a Instagram post walking around town, and I think because I used some music that they didn't like, I can share the screenshot of that in the Discord later.
Oh, gotcha.
Maz, guys, I'm so excited. My sister is having a baby. I'm going to be a father.
I don't have a clap sound.
That's a...
I play
oh, boy. All right. We'll just keep moving along there.
Yeah.
Sammy asks, is TikTok banned? Not yet. The Biden administration is threatening to ban it.
Yeah.
I'm holding.
Very good.
I'm good. Are you sure?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Is TikTok banned? Sammy, no, not yet. Biden administration is planning to do that soon. And Valerie Kesterson, when did the 15 come out? Is it better than the 14? Well, the 15 is not out. We are about 6 months away from the 15 coming out. But we have had a lot of leaks, a lot of speculation about what's going on. And why don't we just dive right into the first point here. First story. Apple ditching Lightning for USB-C, but there is a catch. So, as you may have heard, the European Union new regulation forcing Apple to go to USB-C. I think that change has to go into effect by the end of 2024. So theoretically, Apple wouldn't need to do that just yet. But it looks like they are going to push ahead and make the iPhone 15 have USB-C. But there is a catch, and it has to do with charging speeds. As part of the move, Apple is expected to restrict certain advantages of USB-C, like faster charging and data speeds, to work with MFI-certified cables and chargers only. As a result, Quo, he is as this article calls him, a Apple industry analyst. That's fancy speak for leaker. Quo believes Apple is anticipating a major increase in demand for its own USB-C 20-watt power adapter.
Nice.
Yes.
Great.
It's interesting. I mean, it's kind of like malicious compliance. Apple is saying, sure, we'll get the USB-C, but we're not going to make it pleasant. We are going to make it more difficult, and we're going to restrict some of these features that, USB-C unlocks to people who buy more expensive phones and Apple-specific products.
Yeah, it's kind of like a monkey's paw situation.
It's like a monkey's paw situation. Yeah, you wish for USB-C, here you go. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's USB-C. I mean, I'm not super, I'm not waiting. It's not that interesting to me, to be honest, the USB-C stuff. I think the main benefit would be the transfer speeds. You have the gigantic ProRes video files from iPhones, the iPhone Pro models, and moving those over just with Lightning takes forever. AirDrop takes forever. So theoretically, USB-C could help with those transfers. We'll see. I do think it's kind of a smart move to Apple saying we're going to make the USB-C cables MFI certified, because that just anyone who already has an existing USB-C that isn't MFI certified, they're out of luck. So you got to get the Apple new ones. It'll be interesting to see if Apple includes USB-C and the 20-watt brick with the iPhone 15, since they've stopped sending chargers in the box.
Definitely. Well, the poll's done.
Poll's done. What are the poll results?
Yeah. It was close. 56% says yes, and 43% says no.
Okay. Matthew Newberry. Interested, but care is a stretch. When you coming out with the glasses? I'm assuming that's the Apple glasses. I haven't heard much about Apple glasses. You know what we can do? I think this might work. So we have a new setup. I'm doing like a screen share thing. So let me see if I can Google Apple glasses release date and see if we can find anything here. Jeff Pugh originally claimed the Apple glasses could launch in late 2024. When we just click on this, let's just, we're going to go totally off script here. Let's see. 2024. We'll search for that. Alongside a second generation version of the Apple VR AR headset. However, the analyst has since pushed back his release date estimate to 2026. So Apple glasses, not anytime soon. It's kind of like the Apple car where they say, it's coming, and then they just never release it. ZYT official, where is the other David? Secret mission in New York. I am not allowed to speak about it. Legally, cannot tell you what he's doing. And he made that very clear in some Slack messages. You can't say where I am, what I'm doing. So yeah, I can talk about anything else, he said. So what earbuds am I wearing? See, this is a great question for David P. What earbuds are you wearing? Deciding between the Beats Fit Pro or the Sennheiser Momentum 3. So these are like Sennheiser in-ear, and they're not actually earbuds. They're like, I don't know if you can see this, Zach, but they're like, there's a connection here.
Yeah.
So they're wired. I'd go with the Beats Fit Pro personally. I use those at the gym. Depends what you're. I mean, I don't. The Sennheiser, Zach, do you know if they're in-ear earbuds or do they have a little wingtip or anything?
They we actually have some, I think, and I recollect David saying that they're pretty good. I've used them personally, and I like them. They don't have the wingtips. They're sort of like a combination, like in between the XM5s or XM4s and the Beats Fits. So they're not quite wingtips, but they're there's like a bulbous end there that you kind of have to twist to make sure it's secured properly. But yeah,
yeah, I mean, I'd go with the Beats Fit Pro.
Right.
They don't fit quite. Yeah, I have had an issue. I've had issues with pretty much every single in-ear earbud that doesn't have some sort of wingtip on it. Let's see. See You Never is more interested in the pads than phones. I or not. Yeah, I mean, I've got no tablet news for you. See You Never, unfortunately. Maz, with wireless charging to MagSafe, who charges with a cord anymore? I charge with a cord. I don't like MagSafe has a cord. I don't know, Zach, do you use wireless charging?
I have to because my charging port is broken, so I use it as the defunct, or the de facto charging method, I guess.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, wireless charging is so slow. I'm not a fan of MagSafe. I just pop it in the fast charger for 30 minutes every morning, get that 50%, and I'm good to go for the day.
Yeah, I do miss that.
Mick F says he's not a power user, so no great need for the latest and greatest, but hearing about new devices is always interesting. All right, fair enough. Joshua Schramm, yeah, classic move. This classic Apple move. This is one reason why I don't really like Apple. I heard Samsung does the same thing. So I'm having a thing like come on, chat. There we go. I heard Samsung does the same thing with their fast charging though. Yeah, I'm not sure. David P. Pretty working for the FBI. I cannot confirm or deny whether or not he's working for the FBI. Any suggestions on good hi-fi adapters for the iPhones, for the iPhone for IEM? Zach, you got an answer to that question?
There's something called the Mojo, I'm pretty sure. Mojo, it's a DAC, digital audio converter, or digital analog converter. Yeah, Cord Mojo. They're a bit expensive, but if you get them used, they're pretty good. But they're pretty high quality DACs, handheld, super easy to bring along with you anywhere, really.
Let's see if you if you jump over to the screen share. Cord Mojo.
Yeah.
$775 from headphones.com.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Clearly.
But you get what you pay for though. They're good. I'm sure there are better, cheaper alternatives, but that's the one that I would go to if you're have that budget. We should do
cool.
Now that I think about it,
go ahead.
Cheaper DAC video or something.
Cool. Thanks. Had needed earbuds with active noise. Chat's going too fast for me. Had active noise cancellation without a stem, so they'd fit underneath earmuffs. Yeah. So I mean, for me, it's like the two best earbuds are Beats Fit Pro, the Bose. What are those called? There's the Bose Sport and there's the Bose something else. It might just be the Bose noise canceling earbuds. I think they might, if you just Google that, the Bose ones are really good too. Or the AirPods Pro 2nd gens or the Beats Fit Pro. There are a lot of good options. See you never. I have been charging my iPhone with a Monster USB-C charger for ages. It doesn't do anything to the iPhone. Yeah. People are concerned that if they put too much power into their phone, it might, blow up or might degrade the battery, and that's just not the case. AJ, how are you? Asks AJ. I'm okay. We're just going with the flow here. This is totally new. We're using, a new screen sharing thing. I mean, I can't believe there are like professional streamers who can just get on and talk to people for 8 hours and keep it interesting. I'm not sure I have that skill set yet, but maybe we do. Maybe I do. Zach, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just going with the flow, That's about all I got.
All right. Yes. We're really professionals.
Yeah.
Teresa asks on a need to know basis where David is. It is on a need to know basis, and there are about 3 people that need to know. But if you subscribe to the channel, follow us on social, you'll find out soon, maybe. I'm not sure what I can't even speak about the project, so I can't tell you. Have you seen the hacker cable? Asks Thina. I did see so Mr. Who's the Boss did a video where they had like this little cable that you could hack other people's stuff. So I have seen that. I've also heard horror stories about, public charging stations, those cables being hacker cables and people essentially getting access to everything on your device. So yeah, be careful out there. Don't plug your phone into things that you don't have control over. AJ, Zach wants to know where your face is.
It's just
Zach, AJ wants to know where your face is. Yeah, as you probably, we've talked about this before, but the studio space we have is extremely small. So just even, there's just no space for like where the computer desk is to like stick a camera there and make it look good. Thina, after that, I always use MagSafe. Yeah, don't blame you. That's a obvious benefit of wireless charging your MagSafe. There's no threat of, a malicious cable getting access to everything on your device. Valerie Kesterson, thanks a million, was supposed to get a new phone. Is iPhone 15 going to be better than 14? So why don't we go over to this article here. This is sort of the big Mac rumors roundup. And so other than USB-C, I was like, okay, what are the new features going to be for the new iPhones? And there really isn't that much. I mean, the main things right now are a periscope lens, periscope camera. Let me just get to this part of the article here. Oh boy. Doing this on the fly, it's good. Here we go, periscope camera. And allegedly this will allow for 6x optical zoom on the Pro Max models, which are going to be expensive. Periscope lenses work. Oh my boy, where are my notes? See, we're just doing this on the fly. This is shambles. So periscope lenses work. The camera's zoom lens and the sensor are turned sideways, and that allows for more optical zoom. So right now the Pro Max is a 3x optical zoom. The rumor is that it's going to have a 6x optical zoom. The other thing that people are talking about is the A17 chip. So right now the Pros have the A16 chip. The 14 and 14 Plus have the A15 chip. So, the Pros are going to be 15 to 30% more power efficient. The processor is going to be 15 to 30% better. And that's sort of the way Apple can keep justifying price increases in new phones every year, because they keep making those chips a little bit better. But speaking of price, the rumor is that it's going to cost $100 more than they do now. Oh boy. See, I've got too many Chrome tabs open, Zach. What am I doing here? Where's my cost tab? Here we go. 100% price hike has been tipped for the iPhone 15 Pro. This could be down to more advanced features like the periscope lens, like the A17 chip. So if the $100 figure is accurate, the 15 Pro, right now the 14 Pro starts at $999, so the 15 Pro would start at $1099, which is that's a lot of money for a new phone. I don't know if people keep affording it.
For sure. Yeah. They're raising the prices, right? Or are they keeping them the same? I can't remember the price point on the top of my head of the old ones.
Yes. So theoretically, the 15 Pro and Pro Max would start $100 higher. So the base model would be like $1099 for the 15 Pro, and I think $1299 or $1199 for the Pro Max. I mean, at that price, I don't see how people can afford. If you're getting a new phone, how anyone could possibly afford that?
No, definitely. What happened to the Ultra stuff? Is that still happening, or
the Ultra stuff?
Or is that the iPhone 15 Ultra? Is that like even a thing anymore? Is that just like a rumor mill thing?
I think that's mostly a rumor mill thing. So it's a rumor mill thing for bloggers who want to write articles targeting the keyword iPhone 15 Ultra, and then they can get all the web traffic and play on that speculation. The other potential rumor, we talked about this in the last stream, how there might be a new mute button. There probably, almost certainly, is going to be a new mute button on the 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max. Rumor that will also double as an action button. So the Apple Watch Ultra does have an action button that you press it and it opens a specific app or it starts a workout for you. Theoretically, an action button on an iPhone could do a whole bunch of things. Start a new note, start a workout, open a web page in Safari. That could be interesting. I'm just not sure how they're going to have a mute button double as an action button and have that be user friendly. So I don't know if anyone in the chat has any thoughts on, an action button on an iPhone, what you would do with it. But the Apple Watch action button has been super helpful for me. I have it set to start a workout, so I just press that button when I get to the gym, and it saves me literally seconds every day.
Nice.
Let's see. Let's head back over to our chat. Oh boy, I'm way behind. Magnus asks, what would you say is better, iPhone 14 Pro or Pro Max? Because the Pro Max has better battery life. I would say, all things being equal, the Pro Max is a better phone. But if you want to save a little bit of money, 14 Pro is fine. Out of the box, the 14 Pro's battery life for me wasn't very good, and that is definitely stabilized over time. I would take the cost savings, just get the 14 Pro personally. But if price isn't a factor, the Pro Max is the better phone, just objectively. Unless you're concerned about the size of it, because it is they're big phones these days. It's the Costanza. iPhone 15 equals buy. iPhone 12 to 14 now more affordable. Yeah, hopefully there's a corresponding price drop after the iPhone 15 comes out. And if there is, I would definitely take a look at the iPhone 13 Pro. I mean, it's just a really solid phone. I think it's worth the savings to get the 13 Pro instead of the 14 Pro. Does using wired earphones like IEMs look weird nowadays? Zach, you got any thoughts on that?
I don't think it's too bad. I personally, it's weird because of how you have to like finagle them to make them fit right, you know? I mean, you have experience with that right now. I mean, you're wearing some.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
No,
to have them
I
loop over your
actually...
ear.
Now that David's not here, I can tell him, like I can say on stream that I absolutely hate like the wired aspect of this, and now it's like behind my back. So if I like lean back in my chair, it's like I feel like a dog on a leash, where you put your dog outside in a leash attached to a tree, and it can run around to a certain extent, but you get to the edge and it just yanks you back, and it's just I can't stand it.
Yeah, I wish that they came pre-configured with longer cables, because it's obvious they're used for mostly live applications. So it's just funny that they kind of cheap out on the length of the cable instead of just kind of making it longer.
Sammy says, I like you guys so much. Best channel. I really learn a lot. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Matt Ruderman, what did I miss? I mean, you haven't missed anything. I'm just talking about iPhone 15 rumors. We're trying a new screen sharing thing. You know, it's clunky right now. We're working out the kinks today. So, you know, if you're enjoying this stream and you want to see more high quality streams like this video, send us a super chat. Send David P a message that Zek is the new permanent co-host of the channel.
Yeah, nah, that'll work well.
Dion says David is working in his new house. Well, he's in New York City, I can tell you that much. So no, he's not working in his new house. Joshua Schramm, I started using Twitch, and I watch a streamer that streams games for like 12 hours. Yeah, I mean, I don't have enough interesting things to say that can fill up, we're only 22 minutes in. I'm running out of steam. I did read an interesting thing this morning, Zach.
Yeah, what's up?
So, if you had to guess, how many people this year have been infected by eye drops?
Oh, I saw this article. It's the artificial tears one, right? So 3 people got bacterial infected and like died or something, right?
Yeah. Well, 68 people got infected. 3 died.
Oh, wow.
8 are now blind, and 4 needed their eyeballs removed. Yeah. So that's the sort of story I prepared for this stream.
I didn't realize it was that bad.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think you would have read it, but well, there you go.
No,
you took the steam right out of that segment, Zach. I only
knew
poison
half
eye
the
drop
story.
segment.
Yeah.
Jonathan Price. I was using my wife's. What? Sorry. What?
No, it's a good segment. It was a good segment.
Yeah, it's a good good 30-second segment there.
Yeah.
Jonathan Price. So I was using my wife's iPhone 11. What will be the difference? Well, better cameras, faster processor. One thing, if you're on an iPhone 12 or older, upgrading, you'll notice immediately how much nicer the display looks, and that's because of the 120 hertz refresh rates, which the Pro models have. The iPhone 14 and 14 Plus didn't get 120 refresh rates, which is kind of stupid. So I think, that's the most fundamental difference you'll see, just to zip your phone with a nicer display. But if you're not doing a lot on your phone, you're not going to notice. But I think, if you want those 120 hertz refresh rates and you don't really care about the rest, the iPhone 13 Pro or Pro Max is the way to go. AJ says, don't get too addicted. Go play the games by yourself. All right. ZYT official, pretty sure it's the FBI. And by the way, how do you feel like the Payette Forward channel is enemies with Mr. Who's the Boss and MKBHG? Well, again, I can't confirm or deny it's the FBI. So I think, in the YouTube tech space, there's, or any business really, you think about people who are doing the same thing as you, and you think, they're, my competitors. And lately I've been thinking about it more as, we all have these tech YouTube channels, and if you look in analytics, you can see that a lot of people who watch our videos watch a lot of, what would be considered competitor videos. So I think it's more healthy to think about it as we're sort of colleagues. When our channel does well, their channels do well. Not so much for MKBHD and Mr. Who's the Boss. They don't need us. But other people in like the iOS settings space. And I really like a lot of the videos that they're making too. So I would say less, we're not enemies. We're not out fighting each other. We're more
It's like
funneling traffic to each other's channels.
Definitely.
Shelly D asks, pay it forward, David. Do you ever review MacBook Air? No, we don't really do product reviews. We haven't had a lot of success with those in the past. And the issue with product reviews is that if you don't get on the menu, like so for Apple, for instance, if you don't get on Apple's list to receive the product early and then be able to create a video during the embargo period when you can review it, and then there's a deadline where you can publish the video. If you don't put out the review at that exact time, you're already way, way too far behind in terms of reviews. That being said, I do have a MacBook Air with the M1 or M2 chip, and it's great. It doesn't make there's no fan, doesn't make any noise, doesn't heat up. Battery life's great. Can't recommend it enough. Matt Ruderman, 11. Yeah, is that comment in the right place? Probably not. This isn't my article. I didn't write this. If there are any typos, it's not me. Mick F, most people can't afford it. There are a lot of credit card companies who are thrilled about that fact. Yeah, well, I mean, there's the story that this common economics point is, 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. And, we've got cell phone manufacturers selling phones for $1,200. I don't understand how people are getting these new phones.
Ooh, super chat.
Super chat, Valerie Keston, fist bump. Yeah. Appreciate it, Valerie. Oh boy, I'm so far behind on chats right now. This is good. Well, it's good that we're far behind on chats because, I've got nothing prepared, no news stories prepared for this stream. So, Jaunty Pitt says, action button, open the camera. Yeah, great idea. Android has had that feature for years. Okay, fair enough. Well, Apple drawing inspiration from Android once again. Who would have thought? Ian GT, channel member. I've seen that possibly iPhone 15 Pro models will be titanium instead of steel, which will bump up the price. Yeah, that was in one of the articles I skimmed through before the stream today. I did see that.
Super
and
chat?
Yeah, oh boy. Tammy, $10 super chat. Thank you, Tammy. When you super chat, you can send a message too and ask a question. David said doesn't feel bad. I say this every stream. I feel bad, but thank you. We appreciate that. Magnus asks, what iPhones do you guys have? So I have the 14 Pro, which I'm actually using as my continuity camera right now. Zach, what phone do you have?
I have the 11 Pro.
11 Pro,
which is
yes. You don't have this. You don't have the 120 hertz refresh rates. So once you go 120 hertz,
yeah, I'm blissfully ignorant.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Stay blissfully ignorant while you can. Don't borrow your friend's phone that has 120 hertz refresh rates. Channel member Tammy, who also just gave us a $10 super chat, so we'll spend some time on this chat. David, I can get $800 trade-in on my iPhone 12 Pro Max. Should I trade it in and get the 13 Pro Max? Yeah, I mean, I think the 12 Pro to 13 Pro Max is a pretty big upgrade just from the refresh rates alone. So, yeah, I mean, if you're looking to upgrade, and the 13 Pro Max, too, is still a really solid phone. It's going to support another 4 or 5 years of iOS updates. So I would say that would be worth it for sure. Sammy asks, does the iPhone 15 have 4 cameras? All right, let's try the Google thing again here, Zach. Hold on.
Yeah.
iPhone 15 Pro camera leaks. Let's see what we can find. Forbes, they seem reliable. Leak iPhone 15 Pro CADs. Oh boy, look at that ad. Unbelievable.
That's literally half the screen.
See, this is so. Yeah, so Zach was telling me earlier too, like the way that the stream is set up, like a significant portion of the bottom is covered up. So I don't know if anyone can see anything because the ad is in the way. Reveal
better,
massive
yeah.
camera hump, new rounded design. Let's see if we can find those images. That's great. Write an article about, there we go. So camera hump is bigger. This image render by Ian Zelbo. I don't think, on the images that I've seen, it doesn't have 40, here we go. It doesn't have, it still has the 3 cameras. So no, I don't think we're going to see a 4 camera setup on the iPhone 15. Go back to the chat. The key to good photography is capturing the moment, says Jaunty Pitt. Okay, yeah. I'm not a photographer, so Zach, you're more of a camera guy. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on, like, I think the angle is also very important, but the moment is like the focal point for sure. Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
Random dude. If you choose to use YubiKey, are you supposed to turn off SMS for specific applications, or does the application bypass SMS automatically? That is a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I'm going to write that down. Zach, fill some air here while I write that question down, and I'll get back to you on that.
I mean, I think it depends on the app, but we'd have to look into it. Because that's actually really, because I have a password
really good
manager and I took off a 2-factor and put on the security key stuff. And now I'm not required to do that for that specific app. But I think it's a very, it varies by apps, I think, and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say it might vary from app to app, as you just said, where you might have to do it manually, you might not have to do it manually. I think in a perfect world, you wouldn't have to do it manually, but I can't speak for every app. Colt, when I use wired earbuds, I tuck the wire under my shirt, keeps it from getting tangled. Yeah. Agreed. Jaunty Pitt, does double or triple tapping the back is not fast enough, phone needs to be awake? Double and triple tapping the back is not fast enough, phone needs to be awake.
Yeah, the action, there's like actions you can configure for the double and triple tapping.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It is a little slow.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, back tap on iPhone is slow, and it's not consistent, and it's clunky like the stream. And if you have a phone case on, it doesn't always work. So it's just, yeah. It's a cool feature to put in a YouTube video, but it really isn't that practical at this point. Will the titanium chassis on the 15 Pros make the overall phone lighter? My 14 Pro is unbelievably heavy because of the stainless steel. Well, how about this? Is titanium lighter than steel? Yes. Titanium is highly valued in the metals industry for its high tensile strength as well as its lightweight, corrosion resistance, and ability to withstand extreme temperatures. It's as strong as steel, but 45% lighter. So, theoretically, it should be lighter. I don't know how much lighter it's good. I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make. I also just Googled this. I don't know what Thermo Fisher Scientific is, so we're just doing this stream on the fly. We might be totally wrong, but it seems like that would be true.
I'd put money on it.
See you never. Saves me seconds every day. Sound like cutting sarcasm. Yeah. A little dry humor this morning. Lola, if you guys have an old iPhone that you do not need and can afford to part with, I'd really appreciate it if I can have it. I can't afford one, but if you have one for a cheap price, I can buy it. I'm not sure that we do, but you can usually get pretty cheap phones on Amazon or eBay. Just look for, certified refurbished. They're pretty cheap. But if you buy your phones on eBay,
oh boy,
be careful, because we actually had a recent situation. So when new phones come out, we tend to buy them because we want to make settings videos and keep all the information up to date and give you the most up-to-date information. So S23 comes out. David buys it on eBay. I believe he bought it on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
we get the phone working totally fine. I have this video idea, apps you need to immediately delete on your Android because they just come preloaded with a ton of malware or not malware, sorry. They come preloaded with a lot of bloatware, taking up a ton of storage space, slowing down your phone, apps you're just never going to use. I think some Androids even have Facebook pre-installed now. I'm not sure how much Zuckerberg is paying for that. So anyway, Zach goes to, I asked Zach to look at the apps that come installed by default, and Zach slacks me a message. What did that pop-up say?
Yeah, so we turn on the phone, set it up, and then we get this little message from Samsung, like the actual manufacturer. It says, Samsung temporarily disabled this device because it was reported as loss, or there is an outstanding balance due to a failure to meet the trade-in terms. To unlock, check for the email used at the time of purchase. So basically, if you know what iCloud lock is, this is basically Samsung's sort of equivalent. And we basically have a bricked phone that it was sold as brand new. And we don't know what to do about that.
Yep, it's kind of a bummer. That's not why David is in New York City dealing with law enforcement over this phone. But yeah, so that video is not coming out anytime soon, unfortunately. Annuar says, when is the Apple event? I think there's going to be an Apple event in April. You know what we can do, Zach? We can Google it. Should I just keep, Googling things? Is that compelling content if I Google things?
It's perfect.
And people ask questions?
This is a Google simulator.
Let's see. Macworld.
Wow, stream.
Apparently there's a spring event coming in. Oh boy, come on. Look at all these ads. Look at all these ads. I don't want notifications.
Half-page ads.
Get out of here. So spring event, April 2023. According to the latest rumors, Apple is planning to hold a spring event in 2023. The event will most likely take place on a Monday or Tuesday in early to mid-April. So maybe 3 to 4 weeks from now, we might see an Apple event. I don't know what they're going to announce at that event. New computer, new iPad. Apple had been expected to unveil its AR headset at a spring event, which would be a whole new device category for Apple. With recent reports suggesting the unveiling has been moved back a couple of months to WWDC in June, it's not clear that Apple would have a spring event at all. So, I don't know. iPhone 15 Pro event is going to be in September. Tammy says, you have competitors I would never know. I only watch you guys. Guess I am biased. You're biased towards the best content. So, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have competitors. We have colleagues in the YouTube space. Community. Jess says, be careful and wary of the recent YouTube accounts being hacked. The latest being Linus Tech Tips. Yeah, Zach, you told me about that this morning.
Yeah, I saw that Tech Quickie all of their channels have gotten compromised, so I don't know what's going on there. Seems pretty bad, though.
It's not good. We also have a problem. I mean, every YouTuber has this problem where we get our comments get filled with spammers and people saying that they're actually they're impersonating us and telling people they won free stuff and then stealing people's information. So yeah, we're not going to ask you ever for your credit card information or your social security number. So if you get some of those weird messages, they're not from us. Valerie says, sorry, not much. $2.99 is more than enough, Valerie. We really appreciate that. ZYT Official, are you running Windows on Mac? Zach, you're running Windows on Mac, aren't you?
No. David has Windows on Mac, but I have a desktop at home. That's how I got the phone link stuff working, but
yeah.
That's
I wouldn't even know where to start getting Windows on a Mac.
It's fun. Fun process.
Ahmed asks, do we still need a case for a titanium phone? That's an interesting question. So the phones have gotten a lot sturdier over the years. I still think there's value in getting a phone that has raised edges. So if you drop it flat on its face, the chances of the screen totally shattering are lower. Same goes for the camera bump on the back. If you dropped it flat in its back, the cameras could crack. So I would still say yes, it would be a good idea to get a phone case. I don't know, Zach, how do you feel about that?
I mean, it's never. They're a better choice in terms of protection than screen protectors usually. Mm-hmm. But good for drop resistance, especially if it's like rubber or silicone or something that's like kind of absorbent. Good to help if you like chuck your phone for some reason.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Michael Boys says, love your work, gentlemen. One of the most informative Apple YouTubers. Appreciate that. Iram Ali says, Thermo Fisher is a reputable company, good source. Great. Well, I'm glad we're not spreading fake news in the stream today. That's, there's a win for us.
Yeah.
Magnus asks, why do you not have the Pro Max? I don't know. They're more expensive and they don't really have anything, geez, I hate these cables. They don't really have anything special to, I feel like the Pros have enough. They're cheaper. I just like the size of the Pro Max is off-putting for me personally. Like the Pros alone are big phones, and it's like if you get a Pro Max, it's like walking around with a tablet in your pocket. And I don't, not for me. Lola is in NYC, Queens, and Just Me is in Tucson, Arizona. We had a lot of Canadians on the stream last time. I'm not seeing the Canadian pride today. Kemfi asked, do you think that Apple will address thermal throttling with their upcoming iPhone lineup? Do you think that Apple will address thermal throttling with their upcoming iPhone? This is another question I'm going to write down, and Zach's going to fill up some time by talking about things.
I mean, I didn't even know that thermal throttling was a thing on iPhones. I mean, I haven't looked into it. I just know that the chips are strong and good. I didn't know they had cooling issues. But considering that their MacBooks tend to have thermal issues, I wouldn't be surprised, I guess. I don't know, the cynic in me says that, but, some people may disagree.
Yeah, tune into the next stream. I'm going to be answering all the questions I can't answer today. Let's see. Jess says, titanium is more prone to scratches, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm not sure. Sachin says, my iPhone SE3 is not increasing battery. Yeah, I mean, the iPhone SE3 is a bad phone. The battery life is bad. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, it's rough.
Jess says, is there a way to use Xcode on Windows, or maybe there are alternatives? Well, let's go to the Google machine. Xcode on Windows. Code with Chris. You can make an app for iOS even if you're on a PC running Windows 10. Well, step one, rent a Mac. Okay. That's good.
That's good tip.
Yeah. So I don't think there are any good solutions for Xcode for Windows. 12 ways to build iOS apps on PC. Number one, rent a Mac. So I guess the expert advice here is to borrow somebody else's Mac, rent one. I'm not sure. I'm not a coder. I'm not sure. Just Me is asking, I need to know the best phone for security. Yeah, I mean, I would go with iPhones personally. I just feel like Androids are a little bit more vulnerable with things like install unknown apps, where an app can just install other apps without your permission, easier access to third-party app stores, which can be a problem. I think Apple's a little bit better with the encryption. There's even advanced data protection on iPhone now, which can end-to-end encrypt your data that even Apple can't see it. So I'd go with Apple personally. But watch our privacy settings videos too to make sure you're not giving away any information you don't need to be. Alex, the MTA and R211 weather fan, are the regular iPhone 15 and 15 Plus getting always on display? I don't know. Let's see. Do the 14 Plus, Zach, you know if they have, does the 14 have always on display?
I think it's only the 14 Pro that has the always on display, but I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure the whole
correct.
Oh, cool. So yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. Because the 14 was pretty much just a 13 Pro. So I wonder if the 15 will be just a 14 Pro. So that's kind of what they're doing, is using last year's Pro models as the base model for every year.
This story from a couple weeks ago, Apple's standard iPhone 15 models will not be equipped with LPTO displays, suggesting that the devices will continue to lack ProMotion support. That's the 120 hertz refresh rates and an always-on display option like the Pro models have. So it sounds like the iPhone 15 Plus will not have always-on display. Believe me, you're not missing anything without always-on display. Apple's always-on display is bad.
What will the 15 be if it isn't getting any new features? That's my question.
That's what the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus was. They're just like, they're bad phones that don't do anything. They're not, they don't introduce anything new. And I think this, like, the poor sales have reflected the consumer. I don't know. Consumers aren't buying the phones.
Yeah.
Discontent. Perfect. Yeah, that's a good word. Jess, thanks. Another question, and apologies if I have thrown many. That's all right. We got to fill up. We got to fill up time. I've got nothing. Zach's got more. I had the story about the eye drops. That was my big hook today.
Yeah, I really did throw a wrench into that plan.
You ruined it. I gotta come up with a more crazy stories. Do you use screen protectors or tempered glass for your phones? No, I do not use a screen protector on my. Zach, do you use a screen protector?
I do on my watch, believe it or not, but I don't on my phone.
Yeah, I just, for screen protectors for me, they just make the display look worse, and putting them on, taking them off, and a lot of the time too, the screen protectors aren't really stronger than the display itself. So you're giving yourself a little bit extra protection, but I think you're losing a lot of eye appeal and just ease of use when you put a screen protector on. Tommy E8, Max phones will be king in the next iPhone 15 Pro series, 0.87 millimeters less width, which will make it narrower and will have the curved body instead of the flat. So easier. We should just get Tommy on the stream to talk about this stuff. You know? We should bring people on who are actually like following these leaks closely.
You know what we should do is we should have like a call-in line where people call in and talk to us about the leaks, and that that totally goes out.
How are we going to screen those calls though?
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of like it's exactly like a radio show, except even worse, I guess, because you can't bet them. David
Battistella, aside from the SE lineup, which small screen form factor iPhone would you recommend? iPhone 13 mini. Yeah, I think iPhone 13 mini would be the way to go. That's the one I would recommend.
I've heard a lot of talk about the SE4 lately, hype around it because they're changing the design to the 10S or something. So it actually might be good. I don't know if that's something worth talking about.
I feel like we talked about that before. If we cut over to the screen here, iPhone SE4 may not get a release until 2024. Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo claimed Apple restarted the iPhone SE4 after the analyst had claimed work on the phone was put on pause at the end of 2022. So yeah, I mean, that's the one thing Dave has been talking about forever, making the SE3 a Face ID phone without a home button, getting a new form factor in there. And right when Apple's going to do it, they pull the plug on it. So
yeah. I mean, they got rid of the minis, so I mean, that'd be a good replacement, I guess. Just like the SE4.
Thina asks, any way I can turn off the camera sound when phone is not in silent? So my phone, I'm using my phone as a continuity camera right now, so I can't answer that. I think you can. I'm just gonna make a note of that. Zach, fill up some time here.
Yeah. So, oh man, I wasn't prepared to camera sound. I didn't even. Is there a setting in there that you can like change
Camera sound?
Like audio or something?
I feel like there
Here's what you
must
do.
be a way to.
If there isn't, they should make it. And iOS 17 feature, make it so you can change the noise to something else. I don't know.
Yeah. Lola asks, are you two network engineers? I'm not a network. Are you a network engineer, Zach?
I don't even know. Definitely not. I think the closest person here that might be is David, because he's got all the knowledge in that website, web hosting stuff, but that's probably the closest.
Sally, I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing that. Is the LTPO displays the ones with scrolling issues? So I don't know if it's a scrolling issue. I mean, so I'm not an expert on displays, but the article we were reading, LTPO, not gonna. LTP. Let me just go back here. 15 Pro models will not be equipped with the LPTO display. So I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna make a note of that too. Scrolling issue, LPTO. So what you all should do, if you have these questions, then you're stumping me because I don't know things. Join our Discord, click the link below, and then we'll answer these questions in there, and we'll also answer them on the next stream.
Yeah, these are good questions.
I could also Google the Google stream. We'll rename this the Google stream later on.
Google Simulator.
Yeah, Google Simulator. Pixel 7 Pro seems to have display scrolling problem. The bigger model, Pixel 7 Pro, is Google's premium offering. Gets a massive 6.7-inch LTPO display, which can go down to 10 Hz. But it seems the display has some problems. New users are reporting that they are experiencing scrolling issues with the display of the Pro model. Well, there you go. Apparently. Tommy E8 Max phones will be different than the smaller Pro models this year. Apple will make it different again. It's possible. Neil Williams says he's still using his 7 Plus. Nice. Alex, will iPad Air 6 have Face ID? I don't know. iPad Air 6. Rumors.
If the current iPads do. I don't see why not. Or do they? I might be giving false.
I think some of them do. Well, this article on iPad Air 6 key upgrades to expect doesn't mention Face ID, so I'm going to guess no. Yeah, that's my totally speculative, no insider information, totally winging it to give you an answer. Apu's, hope I'm pronouncing that right. Good morning from Vegas. Good morning. Alex, I'm still using my 7, and it has 83% battery capacity after 3 to 4 years, but I don't use it all day. Yeah, 83% on an iPhone 7 is really phenomenal. That's really good.
Yeah, that's good.
Would Apple finally give in to USB-C or just bring a little adapter and stick to that slow USB Lightning, asks Marcel. So it sounds like Apple is going to give in to USB-C. Just bring a little adapter. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're going to make like a Lightning to USB adapter for all people who have their cables now that don't want to buy a new one. I'm sure there will be a dongle that Apple releases for $19.99.
Maybe they could do what Google did and include an adapter into the phone, but nothing else, just the adapter.
Maybe. That'd be... That's a move. Random dude, when is the next stream? Probably next Tuesday at 11. And Tammy, channel member, my iPad 12, my 12 iPad has Face ID. So there you go. Cool. All right. I don't know, Zach, if you had anything else for the stream today. I've got nothing else. I had my one eye drop story. I had the S23 story, and then some of these rumors.
Yeah. I mean, we covered some pretty good time. I mean, we almost made it to the hour point with me even cutting the iDrop story thing short. That was
yeah. I'll have to bring a story next time that you're not prepared for. Just totally catch you out.
It's weird because I follow this news thing on Twitter. It's the one news thing I follow, and they just report just as soon as it happens. And it's just headline, and it just explains everything in like short thing. And that was one of the headlines, was this recalled iDrop bacterial infection thing. And I was like, oh, yeah. But, obscure, I guess they report things obscurely or something.
Well, let's touch on this last question, and then we'll touch on this last question, then we'll head out. Valerie asks, what is the best iPad to get? I don't have one. Use YouTube a lot. I mean, I have a really old iPad Pro that I just watch stuff on. That's fine. I mean, if you're doing something really easy like YouTube, I err on the side of getting a cheaper model iPad. If you're doing things like graphic art and trying to use the heavier programs, you'd want to get a Pro model. But if it's primarily for YouTube, I think any iPad will be more than sufficient for that. And with that, thanks everyone for tuning in today. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Appreciate